And I'm just going to get the other platform going here. So welcome. It is always a pleasure to be back with you to serve you. And we decided, the team and I decided that we would do a special session today where we would address any questions that you have. So we called this special session, Ask Me Anything. And a number of you have submitted questions in advance, which we're going to be referring to. And if you have a question while we're on online today, then definitely would love to have any of your questions addressed. Celine is here with me. So Celine, thank you for being with me. Celine is here on Instagram. She's on YouTube. She is on Facebook, as I am, and a number of other people are as well. So what we're going to be doing is she'll be collecting any questions that come in. Hello, Beate and Laurette. Good to see you on Facebook right now. I can see that you guys are also on there. And we're also great to see you, Vladdy, on Instagram. And I know we've got a number of folks that are on YouTube right now as well. So there have been many questions that have been submitted in advance. And so I'm going to get to those questions first. We have exactly, looks like around 14 questions that have been submitted in advance. So I'm going to address those questions first. You may or may not have had those questions. Oh, you're so sweet. But you probably will benefit from the answers to these questions. I just started to review a few of the first few questions that have come in. They're great questions, and I know they will serve everyone by them being addressed. So let's start with the first question. The first question is from Nitu, N-I-T-U, and the question is, how do I increase focus and keep positive thoughts? All right, two great questions. So let me address the increased focus one, and then I'm going to address the positive thoughts one as well. So as far as increasing focus, what I suggest that you do is to really carve out a specific amount of time where you're going to be in a focus mode. Now, you can do this in a number of ways. You could take a candle. I have a candle here on my desk as an example. It smells really good. And I could light the flame of the candle. Now, I would suggest that if you're going to use a candle that doesn't have 3 wicks, that has 1 wick. Light the candle, set a timer either on your phone or on some other device for a certain period of time. You can start low, like maybe start with 2 minutes, and then set the timer and just stare at the candle. And do not allow yourself to get distracted from the candle during that period of time. And then increase the length of time that you're going to be focusing on the candle and staring at the flame. This technique, if you practice it day in, day out, will definitely increase your focus. And then what you can do is you can take that exercise and then you can do things like put your manifestation target. So we have on our manifestation toolbox a free, what we call the target. And this is why it was created, is to intensify focus. So Celine will put the link here for you on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, where you can find where you'll be able to find a manifestation target. Because what it is, it's designed in a way where it's like a what do you call it? Like a bullseye. And in the middle, you write your goal, and you can print it out. So you print it out, you write your goal in the middle, and then put it on a wall, put it maybe like close to you, somewhere where you can see it regularly, and then do the same thing. Put the timer on your phone and then just stare at it. But more importantly, since you're going to be increasing your focus, get emotionally involved with what you're looking at, okay? Get emotionally involved in it. So this is a very strategic and a very effective way to increase your focus. So I absolutely suggest that you do that. Other ways to increase your focus are through journal writing. And I have a journal here on my desk, and every day I write my top goal or my top demand multiple times every single day. That's an area or an exercise of focus, because I'm only focusing on one thing. What am I focusing on? I'm focusing on a particular goal that I'm working towards. So when you're writing, it causes thinking. Now, what I suggest that you do to make it even more effective is while you're writing your affirmation multiple times, that you, again, emotionalize that experience. It'll definitely serve you. As far as positive thoughts are concerned, this can be a challenge, especially if you're not accustomed to thinking positively. So one of the things that I would suggest is get an elastic band and put it around your wrist. I'll see if I have one in my drawer here, and I do. So an elastic band, something like this. Put it around your wrist. And anytime you say something negative, snap it. Or if you think a negative thought, snap it. Or if you feel a negative feeling, snap it. Because what that does is, yes, it's a great way of focusing on your positivity as well, but it's also a way of conditioning yourself to stop speaking negatively. That's one way. Another way is something that I call an awareness journal. So you get a journal. It could be something, it could be a small journal. It could be something like this. And then in the journal, take a pen and write a line right down the middle of the page. All right. On one side, put a plus, and on the other side, put a minus. And then become aware. This is about awareness, right? The value of awareness. Become aware of when you're thinking negative thoughts and write it down. And when you're thinking positive thoughts, write it down. Do this for an entire day. You're going to find that you're going to realize, it'll give you the realization and the understanding of when you're thinking negative, when you're thinking positive, so that you have that awareness. And just stop yourself. Get into the practice of switching over to the positive and away from the negative. Okay. So that's what I would suggest for that. Great questions. Thank you so much for asking. And I'm certain that's going to help you. And as I said, anyone that's on this call, even if you don't have a question, you're going to benefit from the other questions that have been asked, because there are some amazing questions that have been submitted, starting with the very first one. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate serving you guys. Thank you. Okay. So question here, BBB, the M by B style. Anyway, so how many times do you write it? Is 5 times okay? Yes, 5 times is perfect. Write it 5 times. Like, I've had people tell me that they write their affirmations out 100 times. I write mine 3 times. Now, but that's not the only thing I do. So 5 times, perfect. Do it 5 times. That's great. Okay, next question is from Zara. How do you organize your professional life day to day? What apps, games, systems do you use? How do you organize your time professionally? Please be specific. Okay, Zara, I'll do it. I love it. I love that you're demanding. That's great. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, actually. Be specific. Okay, how do I organize my professional life day to day? Well, I use my computer. So everything is on my MacBook Pro. So it's what I'm using right now for my YouTube connection. I've got my husband's MacBook for the Facebook connection. I'm using my phone for my Instagram connection. So on my MacBook Pro and on my iPhone, I actually have them linked. So my calendar is in both. Now, the reason why I mention my calendar is more than just the calendar, because in my calendar, I record all the accomplishments for the week or the month, and I record all the accomplishments for the day. And I actually block off time in my agenda to do certain things. Now, there are things that I'm doing every single day that are already habitual. So, for example, I'm meditating every morning, and I'm typically doing that the moment I wake up. So it's not in my agenda, but I'm doing it. And my agenda usually starts, like the things that I have written in there, usually starts around 7 a.m. But I wake up around 5:30. And I'll do my meditation now first. I used to do my gratitude first thing, but now I'm doing meditation first. So I do meditation first. It's quiet. I'm in a dark room. I do my meditation. And then I grab my gratitude journal. And I do my affirmations. I do my visualization and all of that before I even get into my office. But at 8 a.m., I have a call Monday through Friday with accountability partners where we declare what our top demand is as if it's already done. We list the things we share with each other. We speak it, all the things that we are going to, all the things that we're going to accomplish that day. And then we study together. So that takes maybe 10 minutes. It's relatively fast. But in my agenda, I actually schedule off to do certain things, whether it's to do some development work or to do some client work. I have all my client calls, but I color code my agenda. So green would be an appointment that I have. And then purple are personal things, and blue are development kind of work or other things that I'm working on. So that's how I actually organize my day. But I'm very, very organized. I'm very specific. I do more than even what's written down. And I'd say that's pretty well it. So hopefully, Zara, that answered your question. Thank you for asking. All right, the next question is from Sam Hill Clothing. All right, great. Good to see you back. And the question is, could you please talk about definiteness of purpose, Both Napoleon Hill and Wallace D. Wattles talk about it. Thanks. Okay, definite of purpose is when you have gotten a hold of a goal or a demand, I like to call them demands, that you are in love with, that you're extremely passionate about, that it lights you up, that you're focused on. That's definiteness of purpose, where you're definite about that outcome and you are on purpose as well. Now, purpose is something that we all get to decide. What's your purpose in life? What's your reason for being? Why are you here? So many years ago, I established the purpose for my life is to make a positive and beneficial contribution to the lives of millions. So everything that I'm doing, and when I get inspired with an idea or a project, everything is going to be or must be like a check as far as, is it on track? Is it in alignment with what I believe my purpose is? If it is, great, I'm going to do it. If it's not, I'm not going to do it. And so a definite of purpose, I believe, starts with really having a purpose in life. What's your purpose in life? And then making decisions based on that, based on how you're feeling, whether you're feeling that passion. Does it light you up? Does it really inspire you to make that happen? That's what I believe definiteness of purpose is, as both Napoleon Hill has written about and Wallace D. Wattles has as well. All right, great. Thank you. All right, the next question is from Love Finds Its Ways. Why does my mind always think negatively about my health ever since the corona outburst? Okay, well, your mind is something you control. And so I would move away from that kind of thinking. And earlier when I answered the question about how to get away from negative thinking, you may want to do the same thing, like put an elastic band around your wrist and just snap it anytime you think negative. But negative should be replaced with positive. So what I would do is I would establish what's called switching techniques. In other words, be ready to switch away from the negative or away from things that don't serve you and don't help you, and switch over to the things that do help you and do serve you. So make some decisions. So establish some switching patterns. I wrote a book called Your Destiny Switch. And if you want to get that book, I suggest it, highly recommend it. It's been my biggest selling book ever. It was on the New York Times bestseller list as well. And really that's what that book is based on. So the book's called Your Destiny Switch, and the subtitle is Master Your Key Emotions to Create the Life of Your Dreams. So you got to switch away from the negative, because negativity is destructive. Positivity is creative. So you want to be very aware of when you're in negative frames of mind to snap yourself out of it over to the positive. So recognize that you have a choice in what you're thinking about. You choose what your thoughts are. If you're allowing it to happen, you're allowing it to happen. Meaning if you're allowing negativity to occur inside your consciousness, you're allowing it. Stop it. Just say, enough, no more, not going down that road. I'm thinking total health. You may want to use the switching technique of using an affirmation and say and affirm with love and with joy and with gratitude, I am perfectly healthy. I'm in my absolute best shape of my life. I feel fabulous. So get ready. That would be a switching technique to switch over to positive affirmations anytime you think a negative thought. Okay. All right. The next question is, how do I keep good thoughts? I feel like there's a panic deep down. I lost my dad 2 weeks ago. My morning routine and day work completely out. All right. Well, I'm sorry for your loss. My sincere condolences. All right. So how do you keep good thoughts? Well, you've got to condition yourself to think good thoughts. Power Life Script, Celine just posted in Instagram. That's the answer to that. Get yourself a Power Life Script. Go to powerlifescript.com. Learn how to effectively write a Power Life Script. You know, I have been teaching how to write a Power Life Script, how to use a Power Life Script every single day. It is the one thing that's made the biggest difference in my life. And I can speak about this because you know, we're hearing questions about negativity and focusing and things like that. I understand that because I was there. It was many years ago, but I was there. But it was important and essential that I conditioned myself to think only positive thoughts. And so how did I do that? How did I get away from this habitual negative thinking into a place of only thinking positive thoughts? By reprogramming my mind. How did I reprogram my mind? Through space-time repetition of only the positive thoughts, only thinking about what I want, only giving energy to the desires that I have, using a Power Life Script. So that's what I would recommend for you. All right. Diamond Consulting. I'm laughing because this is a great question. The question that Diamond Consulting is asking is, what do you do when you get angry? Well, I'm just laughing because I'm a left brain and a right brain person, but primarily right brain, which means emotional. And emotional people tend to be emotional on the good side of things and on the other side of things as well. So anger is definitely something that I have worked on and still need to work on as far as, managing that. So typically what do I do when I get angry is, and this is what a lot of people do, is they're not thinking. So they usually respond, right? Or react rather than respond. They react. And so what I do now is I ask myself a 5-word question, a very, 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 very powerful 5-word question that has really shifted things for me. So if you find yourself getting angry, here's what you do. You ask yourself this question: what would love do now? What would love do now? That's the 5-word question that you ask. Now, if you're angry at yourself, what would love do now would be to love yourself. If you're angry at another, you would communicate with them in a loving way. If you're angry about something that happened in the world, what would love do now? Because if you're giving energy to anger, it's very destructive. It is a very destructive emotion to have, even if it's something in the world. And sometimes people get angry at things that they have no control over. So you got to let it go. You just got to relax and let it go. We've been talking a lot about focus techniques, positivity, getting away from negativity. Switching techniques can be very effective for taking yourself out of the negative and into the positive. Same thing for anger. So what you want to do is you want to get conditioned in habitual ways of dealing with anger when you notice it comes up. Okay, so you can use switching techniques for that. Next question is question number 7. How can I really believe in myself and let this feeling of I am not going to make it? I love that you asked that question. It's been provided by Cakes by C. Swain. So how can I really believe in myself? Believing in yourself is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Having great sense of self, confidence, self-esteem is probably one of the most valuable skills you will ever learn. So I would suggest create a power life script that reflects how much you love yourself and how much you appreciate yourself and how much you know that you're succeeding in every way that you desire to be. Really write it and script it. The expression goes like this: if you hear something over and over again, you will start to believe it. And that is why the power life script process works. So a power life script process is not only, I see your message there, Jimmy, what do you do for fun? I'll answer your question next. I'm doing it right now, actually, just so you know, I love this. This is fun for me, really fun for me. So power life script is not only for seeing yourself in possession of the things that you desire, but it's also for really building the paradigms within you that are going to support you and really build how you feel about yourself and your self-esteem as well. So power life scripts will also include affirmations and things like that. So I would suggest Cakes by Swain. Get yourself a power life script. Focus on including in your power life script affirmations that are only going to support you. Also, I do want to say this. Celine is the boss. You're right. I also want to say this is that what the heck was I going to say? It just left my mind. I'm sorry. I looked over at the Instagram thing that was coming through and it distracted me. It'll come back. I'm not concerned about that. It'll come back. Anyways, that's what I would suggest about, how to really believe in yourself. You've got to see yourself making it. See, the power life script is the one thing that's made the biggest difference in my life. And the reason why it's made such a big difference in my life, I remember what I was going to say, is because of how it's changed me. Change my paradigms. And this is where you need to do the work, is right here, not on Peggy, but on you, right? You got to do the work on you. And when you do the work on you, you're going to find your life is going to change, but that work has to be done first. What I was going to say is that I have many recordings that is also included in our product. We have a program called Power Life Script. It's only $87. And I recorded several audios that you could listen to right away mini versions of Power Life scripts and extended versions as well. So it is loaded with huge amounts. I think there's like 80 different scripts that are there that are recorded that you have access to. And then there are mini power scripts as well. So I would suggest you check that out. Okay, Lyman says, how do we come into alignment with someone we want to attract? Is it possible to attract someone that everyone around you thinks is impossible to reach? Well, it is if you believe it is. It really comes down to, what do you believe? Now, how do we come in alignment with someone we want to attract? You've got to see yourself with that person. You got to see yourself as the person that has already attracted that you're in a relationship now, that you're enjoying time together. You got to see it. Vividly real is really what you want to create in your consciousness. Can it be a part of your Power Life script? Absolutely, it can be a part of your Power Life script. You got to see it. And where do you see it? When I'm saying see it, what am I talking about? You're seeing it in your mind's eye. You're seeing it in your consciousness. You're using something called imagination. Everyone has it. Everyone can do this. And if you haven't been doing it, start now so you can condition yourself to do it over and over again so it becomes a habit for you. Okay, there's a question here on Instagram that just went by, EMCG1503. What are your top 5 books? Well, I've got a number of them right here on my desk right now. And my top 5 books will change from time to time. Right now I'm studying a number of them, but as far as my absolute favorite books, I've got 4 right here on my desk. So Feeling is the Secret is one of my absolute favorite books of all time. It's by Neville Goddard, and it's Neville, Neville Goddard, Feeling is the Secret. Absolutely one of my favorites. My own book, The Demand Principle. I love this book. I absolutely love the whole concept of demanding more for yourself. Even though it's my book, it's absolutely one of my favorites. Here's another book that I study every single day. It's by Robert A. Russell, and it's a book called God Works Through Faith. God Works Through Faith. That's another one of my favorite books. Now, I also have on my desk another book, which I actually just got the other day and haven't started, I started reading it, but haven't started studying it. I can't say it's my favorite yet because I haven't read it, but it's called Putting the Prosperity Idea to Work. You see, I love teaching people about money consciousness. Love it. Love it. I did a session this morning where I was teaching about how authors earn millions of money. And for this particular group. And I'm going to be doing another session where I'm going to just be teaching them about money consciousness, how to attract the abundance that you deserve. And actually, I wrote a book about that. It's called 21 Distinctions of Wealth. And it's a fabulous book. It was a book published by Hay House. I know he asked for 5, but those are the books that I have right here on my desk. I do have another one. This will probably be number 5. And it's a book that I love. And it's called Money is God in Action. Money is God in Action. And the author of this book is Raymond Charles Barker. Raymond Charles Barker. Back to the question that was asked earlier of what do I do for fun? I love that question about my morning routine. I'll get to that one too. What do I do for fun? I golf. I play golf. I'm actually going out on Friday and playing 9 holes. My husband and I go boating. We love boating. And sometimes I go tubing with my grandson. I love cycling. I go cycling with my grandson, or I just go for a bike ride myself. I don't really have a lot of additional habits, but I mean, I love what I do so much. So when you ask the question, what do I do for fun? My work is fun. I love what I do. I mean, I really feel blessed to do what I do. I just thank God every day that I'm blessed to do the work that I'm doing. Oh, look at that. The Demand Principle is one of the best book of the year. Oh my God, you have the same hobbies as me, boating, golfing. Love that. All right. Rich people sports, Miss Peggy. Is that what they are? Okay, great. Okay, super. All right, good stuff. Okay, more questions coming in. This is fun. I love you guys. Love serving you. Whoa, we have 30 questions now. Okay, I'm on number 9. So we're going to be here for a little while, and that's okay. I said, ask me anything. And I'm so delighted that you guys are here. Okay, next question is, make money online. My life was disrupted, my future thrown into chaos and uncertainty when my partner of the past 11 years ended our relationship. He declared his love for an old flame from 40 years in the past. It's a long story. I now need to find myself, heal myself, rebuild my life without him, being a part of my future? Can I focus on my needs and wants? Absolutely, you can focus on your needs or wants. You know, there's an expression that goes like this, and it's sometimes a real challenge to understand this, but the statement goes like this: there's a blessing in everything. One of the things that Neville Goddard teaches is that in every situation, regardless of what happened in that situation, say the words, "Isn't it wonderful?" Now, that may sound like an absolutely absurd thing to say when you've just had a relationship end and you're going through what you're going through, etc. But there's always something good to focus on. It may be a challenge in the moment and maybe a hard, challenging to find out what that is. But if you stay focused on, I'm going to find the good, I'm going to find the good, and realize that this gives you freedom. Just think about, what would I love now? Like, really sit down and think, what would I really love to be experiencing in my life? I suspect you're going to get to the other side of this and you're going to be grateful for the experience. You may not be feeling that right now, but there will come a day where you feel grateful for the experience. And but what I would do is I would suggest get real clear on how you want to be living your life. Would you love to have someone else in your life again? What would that be like? What would their relationship be like? And get really clear on what that feels like and get focused. One of the benefits of the Power Life script is that it puts you into the feeling states of having that which you desire. So I believe everyone should have a Power Life script because it can help in every area of your life. So I would suggest you get a Power Life script as well. And I'll walk you through the whole process in the program on how to create one effectively so that it can really help you produce the results that you want. Thank you. All right. Question number 10 is from Jack Valentine. I've been struggling trying to hold the feeling and thought of my goal constantly. Is there any advice you would give, or is it okay to let go here and there when focusing on a task at hand? Also, do feelings become stronger the more a goal is visualized? Well, that's great questions. I'm going to answer the second question first. Does the feeling become stronger? It depends. It depends on how effective you're doing it. But if I said to you right now, Jack, I want you to focus on your goal. Think about your goal right now. And I'd like you to imagine that the goal has already been accomplished. And like really feel it, really connect to it. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What's going on? See, you can do that in a moment just by answering that question. I do this quite often when I guide people through either guided meditations in our Masters Manifesting event or in Skipping Levels. We were doing this yesterday. So you could feel like that. You could feel the connection to your goal just like that and have it be intense. In other words, you're feeling as if it's already here. But I do find the more disciplined you become, the better it goes, meaning you're investing more time throughout the day, really focusing on that outcome. What I would suggest is go to the manifestationtoolbox.com, manifestationtoolbox.com. Everybody can go there. And on that manifestation toolbox, there's a daily discipline checklist. And the daily discipline checklist is a methodology that I created back in the 90s when I decided to become more disciplined. In other words, to focus more and stay centered around knowing that my goals have already been materialized. So I discipline myself by committing to doing certain things every single day. So what are the things that I'm doing every single day? I've mentioned some of them: meditating, gratitude, visualization, affirmations, writing out my goals statement. All of those are contributing. Listening to my Power Life script. All of those contribute. So you write them all down. You're going to commit to doing them every day. And then you have to check them off that you actually did them every single day. This tool will, when you use it effectively, will cause you to establish some really wonderful habits by being disciplined, by being committed to those things. So I absolutely suggest that you get these things. Now, anyone that knows me, whether you're in any of my programs or whether you get on these live calls, you know it's not just enough about understanding this. You've got to be applying it. And I'm the one that's giving out the tools all the time, telling people, here's an effective tool, sharing with people tools that I've used personally that have made a big, big difference in my life. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. Now, Jack had also asked the question, like, is it okay to just let go when you're focusing on the task at hand? Sure, it's okay to let it go and focus on the task at hand, for sure. But the more you stay focused on your goal being materialized, even while you're doing other things, the better it will go for you. All right. So thank you, Jack. I appreciate you asking. The next question is from Valentina. Valentina says, my mother has trouble finding out what she really wants. She has tried the Power Life Script, visualization, meditations, but she can't feel what she really wants. Well, she can feel, she's choosing not to. I think she has a block caused by paradigms since when she was a child, she had to put desires of others before her own. And then she did the same when she got married. Any advice? Yeah, you know what? Stop saying that for her. Stop saying that she can't figure it out. Start declaring, I'm so happy and grateful that I know exactly what I want. Even if you don't, start declaring it, but really feel it, and you will find the ideas are going to come to you. The paradigm is right at the gate. You're not even opening it up and letting the ideas in. So to open it up, just be willing and get excited about it and just say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I know exactly what I want. And feel that, and then you will know exactly what you want. That's a great place to start. Thank you. All right, Miriam's Joyful Life. I've been following you for almost a year now. I'm glad you're doing this live broadcast today. My question is, why am I seeing synchronicity? I see 911 all the time. What should I expect? Well, that's an interesting one, synchronicity. So you may be, we may all be seeing 911 on a regular basis, but we're not noticing it. So there's something in you that's noticing it. I would just let it go. I think you're giving it attention, but I wouldn't give it attention, because if you think about 911, that doesn't feel good, right? So just stay away from, or you could think of 911 and be grateful for those services that 911 provides. So it could be a matter of you feeling grateful for those wonderful services that are provided for us, that we can just pick up a phone at any time and dial 911, and we can have fire, rescue, or police showing up right at our door. Okay, Vladdy has a question here. Hi, beautiful and inspiring Peggy. I would be very happy and grateful for advice on letting go. My daily task list is getting bigger, and I'm very committed and hungry to earn a lot. However, despite being disciplined and have great habits of studying, I would love to know if there's an easier way of knowing what to let go. I feel I really need to complete everything daily, as otherwise I'm not persistent on tasks I am committed to. Hope that makes sense. Thank you for your support and all the value that you're adding. All right, so I would suggest what you can do is just be easier on yourself. Be easy on yourself. It's really important to be easy on yourself. Vladdy, you are a very disciplined person. You're obviously somebody who's really into creating great results in your life, because I see you everywhere. You're in my programs, you're here, and I really love that about you. I appreciate that about you. And so you may be just thinking, maybe a little bit thinking critically of yourself, thinking that you need to let go. So that's one way. Just be easy and loving on yourself. Be grateful for all the things that you're doing. Look at the good. Isn't it wonderful that you're doing all this? And then the other part of it is, you may have noticed there's a paradigm there, right? And if there is, then you can modify your Power Life Script and just say, I am phenomenal at letting go and trusting. Everything I set my mind on manifests with total ease. You could add things like that to your Power Life Script, or create affirmations that you're declaring every single day that are reflective of that, and build a new paradigm. Okay, that's what I would suggest for you. Okay, super. The next question is Vasi Haran, 16, says, what books gave you awareness about the quantum field, energy, frequency, and vibration? I would say the best books that I read, and I'm not really drawn to scientific books. However, what I am drawn to, and what I love, and what I teach is simplicity. Because I really believe this whole concept of manifesting your every desire, manifesting your dream life, is simple. It's simple. It's not easy because of our paradigms, but I like to make it as easy as possibly can. That's why I create tools and resources and programs and mentoring and things like that. But the person that I would say that's really helped me the most with understanding that, as far as you asked about books, would be Neville Goddard. I would have to say it's Neville Goddard, Nevillegoddard. Anything that Neville Goddard has produced. I love his work, love his books, and that's definitely made the biggest difference. Now, following Neville Goddard, I would have to say it's very likely Robert A. Russell is the second author that I would say that's really made the big difference in understanding what you just mentioned there: frequency, vibration, quantum field energy, and all of that. All right, thank you. Okay, next question is from Montsur. It says, how can I focus on more than 3 things at a time? I guess it depends on what you're focusing on. For example, you could be driving down the road, petting the dog while you're driving, and having a conversation with somebody. That's 3 things at the same time. It really depends on what the 3 things are. Quite often people ask me about goals, and maybe this is really what your question is related to. Like, can I have more than one goal that I'm focusing on at one time? Absolutely, you can have more than one goal. Now, I have one particular goal that's on my goal card, and that's I call it a demand card. That's the top demand or top goal that I work toward. But there are other goals that I have for myself, so I include them all in my Power Life script. So that's how I focus on multiple things at the same time. The next question is from Leo. How do you keep the feeling of gratitude all day long? Love this question, Leo. How do you keep the feeling of gratitude all day long? You want to remember. You want to remember that your goals are already here in your life. So here's a technique that I use for that. And it's a question. Write this question down. Now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? Now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? Very likely the response to that question is gratitude. It certainly is for me, and I know it is for many other goal achievers that are out there in the world. Or you can modify the question and say, now that my dream is fulfilled, how grateful do I feel? And that'll have you focusing on gratitude and different dimensions of gratitude. So you could certainly do it that way. So now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? Or now that my dream is fulfilled, how grateful am I? All right, you could ask yourself that question. And you may find that you want to ask yourself that question multiple times every single day. So I engraved that question on a number of different wooden devices. I have one in my bedroom. I have one here in my office. And you put it somewhere where you see it, whether you're in the kitchen or in your family room or in your car or in your office or in your bedroom or in your bathroom. Put that question somewhere so that you're seeing it every single day. Now, this is a very, very powerful question to ask yourself. Now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? And I suggest that you also ask yourself this question at night, just before you drift off into sleep. Just in those moments, just as you're getting ready to go to sleep, ask yourself this question. Now, why would I suggest that? Because Neville Goddard said that there was a study done that basically said that whatever you're focusing on in those 5 minutes, those pre-sleep moments before you drift off into sleep, is going to be what's going to show up in your life 66% of the time. So if that's true, you want to be focusing on only what you desire. So when I first learned of that technique a number of years ago, I actually wrote that question out on a little sheet of paper and I put it beside my bed. I was actually traveling at the time when I read that and started to understand that. And I've been doing that for many, many years. I do it every single evening. I ask myself that question, but do it throughout the day as well. It'll just invite you to get connected to your goal and to feel as if it's already here right now. Next question is from Hannah. My husband found someone else who makes him more happy, but he said that at the same time, he still loves me. I don't want to give up on him. Should I let him go and move on? Wow. That is a very interesting question. Well, nobody makes us happy. We make ourselves happy. So if he's feeling an experience of dissatisfaction or unhappiness or whatever, it's very likely within him. And he's not going to get that from somebody else. The moment we assume we're going to get something from somebody else, get an emotion from somebody else, we give away our power. He needs to realize that the happiness comes from within. Maybe you could help him with that. If you love him and you want to help him, maybe help him understand how happiness is really created, because it is an inside job. Now, as far as should you let him go or move on, that's your choice. It really is up to you. You know that expression, love something. If you love something, set it free. I mean, you can still love him and be loving toward him. And, if it is, going to be, in other words, it's something that you would desire. You see, we can manifest happy relationships but we can't always just manifest a specific person because they're also creative beings. And so, yeah, we could set our sights on a particular individual and see ourselves with that individual, but it may or may not happen. It could be that person or someone else. So quite often when people are declaring their goals, if they have a specific person in mind, they may say something like this. They may something like, you know, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm with this person or someone better or something better. Maybe not someone better, but or something better. So in other words, just open up to the universe, because maybe what's happened here in your situation, Hannah, is leading you to something, you know, greater or grander as well. However, just see yourself in a happy, loving relationship. Yes, you can visualize and you can see yourself with him. Help him understand about the happiness is an inside job. And I'm certain it's going to work out for you. Okay, our next question is from Dana. And the question is, Peggy, first of all, I'd like to say I truly adore you. Everything you say resonates with me, and it's absolutely the same what Abraham Hicks teaches. Do you know Esther, by the way? Yes, I do. And you know what's interesting is when I had released my book, Your Destiny Switch, which is published by Hay House, and Jerry and Esther's books are published by Hay House. Of course, Jerry's passed on. They released a book that was very similar to Your Destiny Switch right after my book release. So I'm not surprised that you say that, because I totally resonate with Esther and Jerry when he was here with their messages that they receive as well through my teachings. So yes, I totally love them. My question is, quite often I don't feel anything. It's kind of emptiness, I guess, quite a disgusting feeling, because I know that in order to manifest, I need to feel what I want. I do my best to feel my goal, which I truly want, but I just don't feel it. And because I don't feel it, I know I won't have it, and the realization kills me. Seems like I'm the only person who can't just feel the goal, as when you talk about it, seems like it's super easy. Am I thinking that I try too hard and my resistance grows because of it? And when it grows, the law of attraction gives me more of the resistance, and then I'm in low vibrations. Do I need at that moment to take it easier, relax, and let go? Has it ever happened to you? Love the question. Love the honesty as well, Dana. Thank you so much for asking. Has it ever happened to me? Maybe, but I honestly don't remember. And if it did happen, it was probably years and years ago. So what's happening is it's just your paradigms are in the way. That's all that is. So where I would start, again, be easy on yourself, be loving towards yourself. What would love do now? Well, love would love yourself. Start to declare. Here's a great place to start. Start to declare that you're so happy and grateful that you really feel the connection between what your desires are. And you can just start to declare that, say that, feel that, even if you don't know what they are just yet. When you really say that and connect to that, you open up for the universe to deliver you ideas. And once you open up and you relax and you feel that, use a Power Life script as well. You can talk about how easy this is for you. You know, it's super easy for other people. It is super easy for me. Super easy for me now because I've become accustomed to it. But what happens is when you first start getting into personal development, unless you practice these techniques on a daily basis, it just it's not worth anything, right? You've got to really implement it in your life. So we have been on this call here for about 43 minutes so far. I'm giving ideas and techniques after one another, and I suspect many of you are taking notes and hopefully taking action too. Like with the daily discipline checklist and mentioning to go to the manifestation toolbox. It's all free. We created it all free. It's totally free. And I know Celine has very likely put the link there so everyone can have access to it as well. So for you, Dana, I would suggest, really be easy on yourself, love yourself, talk about how, maybe even create a recording or an affirmation that talks about how you easily feel the connection of your desires right now in your heart as if they're already done. Start there. Just allow it to happen. Feel, good on it. Take it one day at a time, and then just keep moving up until the point where you're going to start getting ideas and you're going to start getting the connection to your goals as well. You'll really start to feel it. I know it's going to work for you. All right. All right. Next question number 19 is from Sim. It says, oh, such a good question. How do you overcome the knowing and doing gap? Sometimes you know what to do, but don't take massive action. Why this gap is there and how to overcome this challenge? Could you please suggest some affirmations or meditation for creativity and flow for writing books? Okay. Let's start with the first question. How do you overcome knowing and doing gap? Sometimes you know what to do, but don't take massive action. Why is the gap is there, and how to overcome this challenge? All right, so here's what you do. Get yourself an accountability partner, like someone that's willing to, someone who's positive like you, somebody who's willing to be accountable with you, and let them know that you're going to do the following. And I suggest everybody do this, by the way, because your chances of success is going to go way up when you do this. Just let them know that you would love to send them at the beginning of the week. I do this on Sunday because that's the first day of the week. At the beginning of the week, you're going to send them your list of accomplishments. And the list of accomplishments are not, I'm going to go pick up my dry cleaning, or I'm going to get groceries. That's not what I'm talking about. Like things that are accomplishment oriented, things that you're going to get done. And it doesn't have to be a lot of things. It could be 5 things, could be 3 things, could be 7 things. It doesn't have to be a lot of things. So you send your accountability partner your list of what you intend to accomplish that week, and ask them to send theirs back to you. Let them know you're willing to support them as well. The next week, what you do is you're going to do an update as well. So whenever I send mine to my accountability partner, I type out, these are the things I'm so happy and grateful that I've accomplished this week. I always write them out in the present tense as if they're already done. And then at the bottom of the email, I write, and here's an update from last week. So last week, I go to that email that I sent and I copy, paste, put it at the bottom, and I'll just put an update like, yes, completed, almost there, moving it to this week or whatever. I'll do an update on that. By doing that one thing alone, your chances of success go way up. So I would suggest that you do that. That's going to get you into accountability mode. Also, every day I get on the phone with a couple other really good friends of mine. And every day we meet on the phone at 8 a.m. We use a Zoom link and we declare what our top goal is. And then we declare to each other, these are the things that I'm accomplishing today. And I know I'm going to be doing that call Monday through Friday, every day. Don't miss. And therefore, it keeps me in the doing part as well, and of executing and continuing to move things further down the road. Affirmations and meditation for creativity and flow for writing books. We actually have a meditation, a calm meditation. Will definitely put you in a great vibration. That's available on the manifestation toolbox. Is it toolbox? I think I said toolkit earlier. Celine, is it toolbox or toolkit? I'm getting them mixed up. I think it's toolbox, manifestation toolbox. Actually, let me just type it in right here and I'll toolbox. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's toolbox, manifestation toolbox. Oh, there we are. Okay, yes. So go to manifestationtoolbox.com. There's a meditation there. Also, there is a downloadable version of the Power Life Script book that's there. And inside the Power Life Script, thank you. Inside the Power Life Script is many affirmations. I mean, huge amounts of affirmations in the program that I've already created that you can access. And some of them I'm reading to you as well that I've already recorded. All right, Yannick says, thanks, Celine. Yannick says, Peggy, according to Neville, the first law is realizing your desire is to keep it. Do you find this works better when you talk about your desired demand goal? Do you find this is to keep it? According to Neville, the first law in realizing your desire is to keep it. I'm not even sure I understand. You're saying that I said that? Do you find this works better when you talk about your desired demand goal? Well, as far as talking, I think I understand your question, Yannick, but if not, definitely elaborate, and I'm happy to expand on that as well. But as far as goals are concerned, I will only discuss them with like-minded people. So I discuss them with my husband. Of course, we're married. I'll discuss them with some of my best friends, but that's it. That's the only time I discuss my goals with other people. And of course, I'm discussing them with myself all day long because of the focus that I create. Okay. So it works better. It's not a matter of working better. I think it works better when you're in the vibrational alignment, feeling as if you already have it. Okay, my next question is from Dana. She says, my husband is another Dana. My husband and I are attracting a new house. He believes that if we sell our home, we will find our dream home, but I'm nervous about selling our home before we have somewhere to go. Sounds like my husband and I, only it's the other way around. Like I was all ready to cut the cord and we're going to find it. I absolutely have faith. And so there's not really a question there. But I think you really, like I have a course called Manifest Your Dream Home. And one of the things that I say in there is that it's important to understand your own level of tolerance, right? Risk tolerance. So for your husband, it sounds like he probably doesn't have any resistance to letting it go, believing that you'll find the perfect home, whereas you feel a little uncomfortable about that. So what would be a better feeling state to get to? Better feeling state to get to would be knowing that you found the perfect home, that you bought it, you moved in, and you're living in it now. So that's what I would suggest. Focus on that. Let the universe figure out the details. Just see yourself with the outcome and experiencing it, fully embracing it, living in it, and that is what you will manifest into physical form. Our next question is question from Genevieve. It's question number 22. If we catch ourselves in a negative thought and we snap ourselves out of it with a positive thought, has this thought already caused some kind of damage in our subconscious? Well, I don't know about damage, but it definitely contributes to the paradigms that are probably already there. In other words, it strengthens it. So what we're thinking about is strengthening our paradigms, either a new paradigm or an old paradigm. So has it caused damage? I don't know if it's called damage is the right word. Maybe. It definitely has been reinforced for sure. Do you think it's better to stick to one mentor and stay on track? It depends. Depends on who your mentor is. If you love your mentor and if your mentors and you are really working well together, then yeah. But if you're finding it's not really a great harmonious relationship, then maybe get another mentor. Okay, Shanuna said, I need to manifest clients. I just became a consultant, but receiving all kinds of resistance. Well, the resistance is an internal thing. So what would you love? What would you love? Focus on that. Get very clear on seeing yourself with all the clients that you would love to serve and have it be vividly real. See the emails coming in your inbox from your clients telling you what a difference your work has done for them, or your teachings or the guidance that you've been walking them through has really helped them. Like, become very emotionally involved in feeling the success of you already being a top consultant. Now, if you're a consultant with Proctor Gallagher Institute, well, they've got different tiers of success that you can accomplish. One of them is like a diamond pin holder. And so see yourself in the inner circle, see yourself receiving the pins, see yourself being on the top of the charts because they produce these weekly reports that show who their top consultants are. See yourself being, someone that Bob is bragging about all the time. Just whatever. Now, I don't know whether you're a TIR consultant or not, but whatever it means to you, or whatever it looks like, smells like, tastes like, as far as being successful, create that as far as your experience, as far as your image, and get emotionally involved in that every single day. The resistance will go away. Okay, Grace Ann says, after I have a children's book written, should I submit it to a publisher before getting an illustrator? No. Publishers don't want an unillustrated children's book. And you know what? The whole publishing world's changed. And publishers they're going away. The business has changed. More people are self-publishing today than they ever have. It is always up to the author to do the marketing. So publishers don't do the marketing. The author does the marketing. And publishers are only interested in an author that already has a big successful platform online. In other words, they expect that author is already going to sell tons of books. I'll use an example of that. There's a book that was released about a week ago. And it's a book called Rage. And it was written by Bob Woodward. And Simon & Schuster published this book. And he has written books. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. He's written books about many presidents of the United States. This book is a book that he interviewed Donald Trump a number of times to get the content for this book. And, I was thinking about the publisher that published this book. I don't know if that book is #1 on Amazon or not. I could probably go there right now and find out if it is. I suspect it might be. I know that it was very popular. I'm just pulling it up here on my screen right now to see what number it is on the rankings. I got to move my iPhone out of the way so I can see. It's #1. Okay, not surprised. So that book is number one. Now, why would Simon and Schuster publish a book by Bob Woodward? Because they expected it to go to the top of the charts. They expected millions of copies to be sold. And so they're very interested. Publishers are very interested in that kind of book, a book that they believe is already going to be a bam, out of the park home run. Okay, so as far as I would suggest, get your book done, Grace Ann. Are you in my author program? We have the complete author program. Your name's very, very familiar. I believe you're in that. Maybe you're in the author marathon that we do, but the complete author program is all about the marketing. And every author, whether you're published or not, really needs to know and understand effective book marketing, because that's really 95% of an author's success. Leanne Monahan says she drives her Jag. That was probably in response to what do I do for fun? I sold the Jag, actually. I sold it. The reason why I sold it is, I'm 5'3", so I'm not really tall. But if I ever had the roof up, it was a convertible, and I love to take it out on sunny days. But if I had the roof up or I was driving in the rain, I'd find I'd bang my head when I'd get in the car and get out of the car. I found the roof really low, and I'm 5'3". I can't imagine what it would be like for a 6-foot person. And also, when I was driving down the highway, I couldn't see clearly out the windows, like it was obstructed view. So I decided to sell it. Okay, Leonardo has a question here. How can I remove any limitation regarding money? You've got to create a new relationship with money. You've got to fall in love with money and make a decision on how you would love to be experiencing money in your life abundantly. And part of the Power Life Script process is actually includes your finance, right? Write down how much money you're earning. Talk about how you deserve it, how you're worthy of it, that you're having fun, that you're, maybe doing something that's really fulfilling and rewarding. So part of the Power Life Script process is really building the belief systems that are only going to support you with the outcomes that you desire. And that includes money. So you want to create better paradigms and better beliefs around money. Now, Leonardo, I can relate to that because I was raised in a very poor environment. My parents struggled. My father was a janitor. My mother had worked in a factory until she got a job as a checkout clerk in a grocery store. And we didn't have money as a kid. Like, we just didn't. I liked earning money. I started earning money at a young age and never looked back. So there were a lot of limitations in our household. So as a young woman, when I first got into personal development, now that was a long time ago. Now it was 41 years ago. When I first started studying personal development, that was one of the first things that I changed, were my beliefs around money. I replaced them with new beliefs. Power Life Script is how you do that. Okay. All right. Yesh 82 says, how do you distinguish between acting with love and not being walked all over? I think your intuition would know. Your instincts are going to tell you whether you're being acted with love or you're being walked all over. So you've got to really pay attention to your intuition. Everyone has intuition. We all have intuition. Hey, Kayla, it's good to see you on here as well. And so as far as distinguishing between acting with love and not being walked all over, your intuition is going to know. So just ask yourself, your internal self, your intuitive side, am I being walked all over, or am I being acted with love? You'll know. And Ananda Dance says, what can you do when you have to deal with issues that keep you emotionally down? Okay, nothing keeps you anywhere. Every one of you are always in control of how you feel. If you're finding that you're emotionally down, you're choosing to be emotionally down. Now, that may sound a little strange, but it's true. Now, I noticed on Instagram that we got 1 minute remaining. It's actually, Instagram's probably going to shut off. But listen, anyone that's on Instagram right now, and I know there's a number of you that are watching, it says 54 seconds remaining. I'm going to just reopen it again. Okay. So just know I'm going to come right back. So in about 45 seconds, I'm going to be reopening Instagram. I used to do that after 30 minutes. So I guess it's doing it now after an hour, and we're into an hour of this call now. I'm going to go a little bit longer because I'm on question number 28. And I think we have more. We do. Okay, good. All right. So back to Ananda's question. When you have issues that keep them, just choose not to. Just make some new decisions. Like get into switching techniques. Make a decision. You're going to switch out of the feeling down into what feels up, right? Get your Power Life script. Write it out. Talk about how happy you are, how consistently happy you are, how you have a wonderful life, how you feel so grateful for everything in your life. Record it. Listen to it every single day. It will absolutely change your life. Okay, I'm coming to you in a sec, Instagram. No worries. Okay, here we go. Oops, no, I don't want to delete that video. Okay, hang on, guys. I just want to make sure we get back connected with our post. Okay, it wants a title. Ask me anything. Can we get the title in later? Okay, oh my goodness. There we go. Post. There we are. Okay, live again. Checking connection. All right, good. You're now live. Okay, we're back on Instagram. So I suppose those people that were following me will have to find me again and get back connected again. Okay, so let's go to Vivian's question here. Vivian says, how do you tell someone nicely that you don't want to listen to their constant negativity without offending them? In the past, I've been like a sponge absorbing other people's feelings, which was difficult because I'm a nurse. Okay, great question. Number one, you don't have to absorb anybody's feelings. So remember, you're at choice, so don't let it in. Imagine that you have a plexiglass shield, and even as they're talking, you're not taking it in. You're just choosing not to. It's bouncing off your plexiglass shield. You're just not letting it in, not getting emotionally involved in what someone is saying that's negative. I remember hearing a story one time. Wayne Dyer was on an airplane, and he was on this airplane, and they were getting ready to fly somewhere. I don't know where they were. Maybe they're in LA. So they're in LA. Wayne Dyer's on the plane. He's sitting in first class, and the plane had been delayed. They're sitting there. They're getting ready to go. They've already been delayed, and they're waiting. They're not taking off. They're already late for when the flight was supposed to leave. People on the plane had connections. So what happened was the pilot comes on with an announcement, and he said, well, it appears that the challenge that we're experiencing can't be fixed, and we're going to have to get a new plane. Well, all of a sudden you can hear these moans of all these people in the back of the plane. Oh, like I got a connection, they're all upset and whining and moaning. But frankly, I don't think I'd want to go on a plane that's not working properly anyways. So the flight attendant was like, oh, and so Wayne says, what's up? And she says, well, I got to listen to all these people complain as they're going off the airplane, as they're disembarking. And he said, don't take it in. And she said, what do you mean? He said, you don't have to accept any of that. You don't have to absorb their emotions and their feelings. Just imagine that your uniform is like a shield and just let it bounce off. Let it bounce off. Smile at them, be polite with them, but don't take it in. And that's what I would suggest for you as well. All right, great question. Next question is, what is the number one affirmation you would recommend for achieving your goals? That is a great question, marketing creatives. But the answer is it depends. It depends on what your goal is and depends on what your own personal paradigms are. So if you have an issue around worthiness, a top affirmation would be I'm worthy of success, or I'm worthy of being a multimillionaire. If you have had challenges around, I don't know, you just have to think about your own situation. This is really quite easy to do. Just think about your own situation and answer yourself this question. Based on what it is that you desire to accomplish in your life, what do you need to believe in order to have that or do that or be that? What do you need to believe? If you need to believe you're worthy, then that would be an affirmation that you want to create around that. If you need to believe that it's easy and it's already done, that would be the affirmation that you want to create around that. If you need to believe that, I don't know, that it's good for all concerned, it's a powerful, positive thing to do, then write an affirmation around that. Okay, Grace Ann is asking if God works through faith is on audio. I don't think it is, but here's what I would suggest, Grace Ann. Read it yourself into audio. I've done that. As a matter of fact, when you go to the manifestationtoolbox.com, because I love this book, Feeling is the Secret, so much, I recorded it. So you can actually have a copy of this in my voice recorded. Okay. Next question is, Michelle, can Peggy share what else is engraved on the block? Oh, yes, sure. Yeah. So on this little block, I have, now that your dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? Then I have your success is absolutely guaranteed. And then on the other side, I have what would you love? 3 of my favorite things. Thank you for asking. Okay, we just got a couple more questions and we're going to call it a wrap for today. The next question is from Radwan Kaber. What is your opinion about the following statement? To be you, cast off your personality first. Well, maybe it means, this is what I would interpret it to mean, cast off those negative beliefs that you have, because there's a greater and a grander version that's already within you that's waiting to come out. We can always be more. We can always create and express a greater and grander version of who we already are. We're such powerful beings. So that's what I believe that means. 2 more questions and we'll call it a wrap. The next question is from Yinka. How do you know which goal to achieve first when you have so many that you want to do? Great question. It's the one that just inspires you the most, the one that you just feel so inspired by. All right, that's the one. So the one that just really gets you excited. All right, I see there's a question here from Leonardo. Can someone write in the comments section the name of the books Peggy just suggested? Was that done, Celine? And if not, I can mention them again. If it wasn't done, I can mention them again right now. No problem. Okay, and then my last question that's here is, how do you get over feeling jealous about what someone else has and the life they lead that you want? Okay, I love that you're asking that question, because it is a very destructive emotion, because it sounds like envy, right? Envy. And remember Bob saying years ago, envy is ignorance, meaning you don't know. Just let it go. You know what I would do? I would shift the way I'm looking at it. I would look at someone else having, you know, what you're talking about, the life that you would love, and say, isn't it wonderful? You see, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you look at what someone else has as a wonderful expression of abundance, and you can genuinely feel gratitude, that is a really feel-good state to be in. And when you're in a feel-good state, you're going to attract good into your life. All right. Okay, so the books that were mentioned are these 5 books. I'll mention them again. Leonardo, get ready to write them down. Feeling is the Secret. It's by Neville Goddard. Feeling is the Secret. Money is God in Action. And this one is by Raymond Charles Barker. Money is God in Action by Raymond Charles Barker. Putting the Prosperity Idea to Work is by Robert A. Russell. And he also wrote God Works Through Faith by Robert A. Russell, and The Demand Principle by Peggy McColl. All right, those are the 5 books. All right, everyone. Well, what a pleasure it was to be with you here today. Thank you for the opportunity for me to serve. We're going to be back again. And I would suggest check out those links that we placed there for you. We got a lot of great content for you. Lots of free tools over at the Manifestation Toolbox as well. Every one of you should be heading over there to download our free tools as well. Get yourself a copy of the Power Life Script and start using it today and start manifesting with total ease. All right, everyone. So great to be with you here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Celine. Isn't she amazing? I mean, I'm just imagining, we're doing this call together and I'm thinking, we're on 3 platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and I'm seeing the questions come in on Facebook. Renata says, who was the author? Vernon Cole? I don't remember saying Vernon Cole. Maybe Robert A. Russell? Robert A. Russell, Peggy McColl, and Neville Goddard. Maybe it's Raymond Charles Barker was the other author. Anyway, so I'm thinking about Celine while I'm doing this, and thinking how she must be running like crazy, going from these one platform to the other platform, making sure she doesn't miss any questions and grabbing them. And then she takes them, she copies them, and she puts them over here into my database. And I get to sit here and answer all the questions, and she's running like a chicken. So I really appreciate you, Celine. I know everybody else appreciates you as well. Look at her putting in all the links all over the place. So great to have you, Celine. I really appreciate you serving everyone with me, and we'll see you guys again in the very near future. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.